Hi folks, it's Piano Man Steve here. This is part 2 of, I guess that's why they call it the blues tutorial here. If part 3 isn't already up, it's coming, but I would say for the majority of you watching, it's probably already posted. So, but if you can't find it, that's why. It'll be on its way. So here's how far we've gotten through the intro in part 1. So where we're essentially going to pick it up, I'll play the intro and then show you how far into the song we're going to learn in this little snippet of the tutorial. Now that's where we left off from the last one, so we're going to start right here. Okay, so that's how far we're going to go. Let's take a look at what we're doing here. Coming out of the intro, we landed on a G chord right here. So you were playing a G chord in your right hand of the B below middle C with your thumb, D with your index finger, and G with your pinky. And then you were in the nearest octave G's right below middle C at the end of the intro. So we were here, and that's where we're going to start. So let's take a look at what the left hand is doing. Remember, we're counting this. This is in 12/8 times, so we're counting it like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay? So we're not subdividing into eighth notes, we're subdividing into triplets. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. So what we're doing with the left hand looks like this. Okay, so what is that we're doing? 1, 2, da, da, da. So 1, 2, da, da, 2, da, 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 da. So the notes are G, 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 E, E, F, F, C. A little slower. 1, 2, 2, 2. Here we go. G. Let 3, let 1, 2, let 3, 3. So essentially where we're coming in is we're coming on count 1, and then there's a pickup note before count 3, so it's like 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. So we're on the let, if you're thinking 1 triplet. We're on the let of 2, and we're on the let of 4, and then we come down on 1 and 3. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, da, da. So G, 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 E, E, F, F, C. Okay. So that's the left hand. The right hand, we're going to do a little pattern here where you form this chord, this B, D, G that we talked about with thumb, index, and pinky. You're going to play the whole chord, and the right hand essentially is playing on every subdivided triplet. But what we're doing is we're playing the whole chord 1, and then we play triplet with the thumb and the index finger. So in this case it's like G chord, B, D. So rather than getting your pace by going, which is not really similar to what he's doing, it's ba da 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 da. So chord, thumb, index, chord, thumb, index. And essentially, as we go through the chords, you're going to keep using this rhythm pattern. Whatever chord you form, you play the whole chord, and then the lowest two notes arpeggiated up. So one, in this case it's G chord, B, D. But if you were forming this G chord somewhere else, for example, let's say you played it here and you played D, G, B, like so, you'd do the same thing. Just happen to be doing it here. So if you want to use a different inversion on the chords as we go forward, feel free to do that. But these are the inversions that my ear is telling me are being played. But I am not arrogant enough to believe that I have it exactly right, note for note. I'm just doing the best that I can because Elton is kind of an improvisational player, and he doesn't really do the same thing from verse to verse usually, and he's kind of all over the place, so it's pretty hard to do a straight transcription in that way, but I think we're in this neighborhood. So, so we are on a G chord for one triplet, two triplet, three triplet, four triplet. So for 4 full counts, we're on that G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when the left hand goes to an E, you stay right here because it's an E minor 7th chord. So you can just play a G chord because a G chord is, when you play it over an E bass, an E minor 7. So it's like so. From there we go to an F chord, which I do in this inversion with your thumb on middle C, middle finger on F, pinky on A. And we do our little rhythm pattern that we've just learned where you play the full chord, and then on trip, come down with the lowest note in the chord, and on let, come up on the middle note in the chord. Whether it's your index finger or your middle finger doesn't matter. Depends on the inversion of the chord you're playing and how your hand plays out. But so let's take a look at it so far, that far. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. Here we go. From there, we go to a C chord, and this is where it changes up just a little bit. So we come down to octave C's in the left hand, and we play this C triad, C, E, G, right on middle C there, with your thumb, thumb, middle, and pinky. Okay, now, we just come down on this, and we have to get ready to pivot. So the left hand, we've got octaves, bump, C, A, G, bump, A, G, G, A, C, C, A, G, G. Okay, so C, C, A, G. Now keep in mind, we're not doing octaves on this, it's just bump. So you play octave C's and then C, A, G, G, A, C, C, A, G, G, E, F. So think about how this is counted. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet. Up. 1 triplet. triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And then we'd come down on octave G's. So that's what the left hand is doing. The right hand, we play this C chord. Okay, so 1 triplet. On the let, you just hold it, 1 triplet. You come down with your thumb on C, let, and then it's an F chord, which is C, F, and A. Okay, bump, ba-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba. So it's this C chord again. Bump, toggle with the thumb, C, then the F chord, C, F, A. Back down to the C chord, and then it's C chord back to F, back down to C. Down, bum. So now that I've just kind of walked through what the notes are here, just watch it. I'm going to kind of tap out the tempo and watch how it plays out. So we've gone. One more time. Here we go. And if you want to, for a little polish on that last C chord, you can go da 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 ba da da. Just our little rhythm pattern we've been doing. You don't have to, but you could throw that in there. So with that little 1, 2, 3 triplet. Here we go. Bump. So with the left hand, we are here. We go. Whoops. Triplet, 2 triplet. Let's slow it down here now. Botched it there at the end, I know. I suck. And I apologize for that. But if you think I'm going to actually take the time to edit that out, you're wrong. We've come too far. I'm just joking. Sorry for the mistake. Let me do that right this time. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. Here we go. Now, I'm going to play through the whole line a couple of times once we get through. So let me just walk you through this next section because it's so similar, and then I'll play the entire segment that we've learned several times through so you can practice along, and we'll slow it way down. So now you're down to these octave G's, and now you're on the lower G's, okay? And what you want to do is basically the same thing, except the chord changes ever so slightly. So it's G, 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 G. Instead of going to E, it goes up to B. Da da. B, then F, then right back to this thing. Okay, so it's very, very similar. It's just instead of going to E minor, we go to B minor. So what's happening up here? Again, very, very similar. You start on this G chord, just like we did before, and it's Now instead of staying on this G chord so it can fill out as an E minor 7, it goes bun, da, 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 da. Now we go to a D chord, which is when you put it over a B bass, becomes a B minor 7. So you play A, D, and F sharp. So you're here, 2, 3, 4, then here, 2, then back to this F chord, which I like to play here, C, F, A. And then right back to this thing. So most of that's very familiar from the last section. It's mostly just that we changed the E minor 7 to a B minor 7. So now that we've talked about that, what I'm going to do is just play from the end of the intro, or just right at the beginning of this segment that we're teaching, and I'm going to play through the whole line several times, slow, and just let you get a feel for what's happening. So let's take a deliberate tempo. We'll go 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, here we go. And it does go back to a G. That's the first chord in the next segment, or in the next part 3, but we'll just end it there so we can end with a little resolution. So 1, 2, one more time, here we go. Start up here where we would be 1. Again, 1, 2, 3 triplet, here we go. Once again, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, here we go. Speed it up just a smidge. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And at full tempo, 1, 2, here we go. And we'll pick up the next part of the sort of the end of the verse in the next segment. So, but hopefully this will get you a little bit closer to the finish line, and what a fun song to play. So I'll see you in the next segment, which, like I say, most likely it's already up and out, considering that most people will see this video long after it's been released. But if you can't find it yet, it simply means that it's coming out next week. So just be patient with me. But you won't have to wait very long if you have to wait at all. And I will see you in the next one. Remember, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. And thanks for tuning in. And be sure to go check out learningmusicIsFun.com, where I have all of my lesson videos, where I teach all the rhythm patterns and licks and fills and improvisation tips and chords and ear training and all the things basically that I learned how to do that gave me the capacity to figure out how to play these songs in the first place. So go check it out. You can get a free membership. Talk to you later.